Warning, you are listening to an adult podcast talking about adult topics. You have definitely been warned.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Hoppy Craftsmen podcast. Yet another episode, but a brand new intro guy. What's up? It's Nate. What's going on? Here with my buddy Chris.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
And no Brandon. Brandon's going to do his intro. Oh, no, he's not here, guys. He's in Canada, so we're going to do it without him this week. We got our buddy here, David, with us. David, introduce yourself.
How's it going? My name's David.
It's our buddy David. Yeah.
So we've known Dave for a long time. Dave actually been a beer drinker with me. I mean, I think you're the first people, one of the first person I ever kind of drug with me into the craft beer kind of scene. So, I think does that sound right, Dave? I mean, you were into beer before, a little bit before that, right? So what were some of your beers you drank before you and I met?
I think it started back in about 97, 98. Mackeson's Triple Stout was my gateway beer.
Nice.
So British smoky stout. And then I was really into stouts. You're the one that turned me into an IPA, a hophead.
See, converted another one.
Good job. You did good.
I tried.
You did good.
So, but I mean, and speaking of stouts, we're actually drinking one right now that Dave brought for us.
We are.
Dave, what are we drinking,
Tell us
man?
what we're drinking, Dave.
This is the AleSmith Speedway Stout coming in about, was it 10, 11%?
Normally we have the bottle, but I left it over there. So, I screwed us over here.
Nice Imperial Stout with some coffee notes to it.
Yeah, no, it is. It's good. Can't ever say AleSmith anything. Yeah, they're all right. Now we've got the bottle. Now we can hear all about it. Let's see here. Yeah, 12%. 12 flat percent on AleSmith. Yep.
Wow.
So, and Dave and I were talking about this beforehand when we was coming on the show. He wanted to bring. So, you said you've never had this before, right? You've never had AleSmith stuff, or just Speedway Stout in general, or?
I don't remember having Speedway Stout.
Okay.
I know I've had it.
Okay. It's good. It's funny. It doesn't. You said you brought it because it wasn't bourbon barrel aged, because Nate doesn't like them. It actually almost tastes a little bourbon-y.
Doesn't like it.
I mean, to me, it does. I mean, it's a little sweet. It's very sweet to it. Has some kind of bourbon-y, boozy kind of taste to it. I love it.
Not overpowering, though. For 12%, it's not going to kill you for sure. Great American Beer Fest Festival 2008. Small Brewing Company of the Year. Small Brewing Company of the Year. They're not small anymore.
AleSmith, no.
No, they're not small anymore.
It's funny. And this bottle was, what, $12? This is right there on the tag. Mm-hmm. So, and that's one of the reasons, too, I think that, shut away from in the past was just they were real... kind of expensive for the beers. I mean, you can get, Red Rocket from, who is it, Beer Republic. Yeah. Those kind of, their beers, like what, $5-6 for a bomber, where this was a little bit more pricey, so you wanted to, and a bigger format. It's not a, Tuesday night beer.
Yeah,
it's a little harder.
No, it's good for a Friday night like tonight, so.
Right.
And it's good between a couple of buddies.
Yeah, you share this bottle. I mean, I can't imagine drinking that by myself.
You're going to need a stopper at the top of that. You can do by yourself, but no, it's good.
Sure. So, stouts you started with, and you moved into IPAs because of me, and then, what was an IPA you had that was like, okay, this is it. I'm into IPAs now?
You broke me with hop juice.
Nice.
You basically overpowered the first couple sips were like, this is not my thing, and then it literally rewrote my palate.
So basically, I just stripped all the enamel and taste buds off your mouth.
Yes. Who did hop juice?
That was Left
Coast.
Left
Coast.
Yeah,
okay, yeah, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, Left Coast Pizza Port. Oh no, they're different, right?
They're different. Yeah.
No. Yep, that's right.
Okay. Yeah, because it was Augie's and Pizza Port.
Right. Augie's, Pizza Port, and then it was just a big conglomerate at one point. Now, from what I understand, went different ways.
Gotcha.
Yeah, now to the point, you're a hophead that Dave was actually the guy we took down to California with us about a month ago now for the Noble 24K juice release. I mean, we're getting all kinds of, Hey
guys, you hear that? You hear that car beep?
Yeah, right here.
Everybody take a drink. Quick.
Yeah. So the 24K juice release, stayed with your parents.
Hotel Rosenkrantz.
Dad made us sweet, delicious bacon, toast, eggs. Man, that's hospitality.
Right.
My parents loved you guys.
Oh, man. We loved them.
We'll come. I mean,
oh, yeah. No.
I love your parents.
I want to go back to Anaheim ASAP.
Yeah, right there. March 5th, you said there's going to be another?
I think there is. They're doing, I know, March 5th at Noble, they're doing another triple IPA release for their canniversary birthday or something like that. It looks freaking amazing. So, yeah, I would love to hop in the car and head down for that. But we'll see.
So this past, was it this last weekend? Week from today, right? Yeah, so week from today, actually Dave and I drove up to Historic.
Yeah, speaking of road trips.
Road trips, man. We road tripped up to Historic.
I wasn't on this one. I think I was at, I was at work.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, it was a Friday during the day. I was at work where I belonged. You guys were headed to Historic.
It's worth a day trip.
Yeah.
It's worth
All
it.
right, go ahead.
Worth the vacation time. But I mean, so about before Christmas, we actually was a Kickstarter.
That's right. Historic Brewing did a Kickstarter.
They did basically a bottle.
And what was the purpose of that Kickstarter?
So it's basically helped to expand their barrel aging program. That's right. Historic. And so
a program I'd never support.
Right. Yeah, exactly. That's just like Nate's fucking bag of tea at all.
Yeah.
But it supported a local brewery. Yeah. We love that.
And Historic was badass.
So
love those guys.
We all went up. Dave and I went there. Nate didn't.
Yep.
And
Spirit.
Yeah, it was on Spirit. We actually talked about beforehand because what we
knew we wanted to drink.
Right. So what we kickstarted was basically a chance to go up there and brew with them. They gave us a bunch of different choices. One of the choices was to brew one of their mainstay beers with them, or to actually brew, a smaller batch beer. Yeah. And since we are kind of serious with beer and we have the normal beer, we wanted to make something kind of our own, kind of get our stamp on it a little bit. So we went up there to work on the recipe, and kind of talking amongst ourselves, we decided that we wanted to do, surprise, surprise, a big, juicy, hazy New England IPA.
Yeah, we had a plan.
So, Dave, we got there. It was a pretty good time, right?
It was great. It was great.
We met the brewer Kristen. We met what was the Bogan?
Bogan, yeah.
Right, met the two brewers.
So what happened? You showed up, they whisked you away to the back.
They immediately poured us a beer.
Well, you're right.
Immediately poured you a beer.
So they didn't even open until 3 o'clock, right?
I'm already extremely jealous. They didn't open until 3, so you kicked around at a few other breweries, I'm guessing?
No. We had the run of the place. They had chairs in the bar. Wow. It was literally just us and the brewers hanging out, and their dog, which didn't.
Badass.
Funny story, doesn't like the word squash.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, so when they said squash, the dog started barking and freaking out.
That's hilarious.
So it was, we kind of basically hung out. Yeah, they poured some beers. We talked, basically give them a rundown of what we thought what we wanted our beer to be, and then we actually started Googling stuff because they hadn't heard of some of the places we were talking about. Some of these places actually make those beers that we wanted, and so it was funny. We'd bring up Google, or we'd bring up Instagram and be like, "This." We'd point to pictures of beer and be like, "This is what we're looking for.
This is what we dream about at night. We don't live next to these bars. We want to make this beer."
Yep.
At least, something inspired by it. We love those IPAs that they're making right now. And I can't wait to get down and actually be part of the brewing at Historic.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. So,
it's an amazing Kickstarter they did.
Dave, do you remember how many barrels they said we're going to make?
It's a 3-barrel system, which is 125 gallons. So after all the hopping and stuff, they said we end up with about 80 to 90 gallons.
Okay. So.
Oh my gosh, that's so awesome.
Right, so if any listeners want to come up, probably it's going to be, we're brewing in late April. So late May, June, somewhere around there.
We're plaster it all over the.
Yeah, we'll definitely let everybody know when it's coming out, when it's going to happen, if they want to come up and hang out and have some beers with us. I know a few of the listeners already talked to me and asked me when it's going to be. We'll have a few of those guys there, which would be cool.
I couldn't be any more excited about it.
Yeah,
honestly.
I'm excited to go up there and brew beer. I'm excited to go up there and drink our beer. It's going to be a good time all around.
And to do it with a brewery like Historic.
They were excited about it too.
Oh,
they really were.
That's the best part almost.
Right. That's the thing is that
their excitement for it.
Kristen, the brewer that we're actually going to be brewing with, she actually has been looking into them before and was kind of interested in them before we even got there. So she was kind of happy that that was solid. We wanted to brew.
Awesome.
As well as it being unfiltered, which is really cool.
How killer is that of them to be that open to it? That's their brewery, that's their system. They could be like, okay, well, they could have held all of us to any kind of what they wanted to do,
right.
Which is for as little as we paid to be experiencing what we're experiencing.
That was the thing is when I saw that I had to do it no matter what. Yeah. Even if nobody else wanted to go with me, I was like, for that price, I'm a steal. So and plus it helps out Historic and helps out the bottle program. So I'm all for
totally worth it, mutually beneficial.
Right.
Because we're going to brew a killer beer.
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome. They sent over that recipe. It looks great. It's got Galaxy hops. It's got all kinds of good looking stuff in it.
Some good dry hopping going on there too.
I'm excited about it.
Some hops I've actually not heard of too.
There was one I know, and we don't even have the recipe here in front of us, but there is one. There's 3 different hop varieties, I believe, going into it.
Right.
There was a bunch of Galaxy.
Yeah.
And I forget the second and the third. The second's just at the tip of my tongue. With the third, I know I'd never heard of when I saw it.
It's like Mintonka or something
exactly.
Like that?
It was something just like that. It was something just like that. Look at you guys just race
It was really weird.
I'm not even moving an inch.
I'll pull it up.
One of you'll find
so
it.
We also pulled up a web page of basically the Homebrewers Association blog, and it was basically giving tips from people from The Alchemist and from
really nice
Half Acre. I think they were basically, this is how we brew New England style beers, and this is what you should look at. Stay away from these hops. Make sure you actually had the hops later in the boil. Stuff like that in the whirlpool, I think is what they're saying too. Add more in that stage, not necessarily early in the boil.
Yeah.
So it was kind of interesting to see some of the stuff, and we actually forwarded it to her so that way she can get some insider information on it as well.
Right.
Yeah.
So there was a 4 hop variety then. It was 2 parts Galaxy, 1 part Belma, 1 part El Dorado, and 1 part Motueka.
Yeah, it sounds like
Motueka. I hadn't heard of that one, but I'm excited about it.
They're all very
flaked wheat.
They're all very citrusy and tropical in their
I'm excited.
profiles.
And it's going to be a double, right? We're going for a double.
Yeah, I mean, on here they said about 8%. That's what they're going for.
Gosh.
So should be pretty good.
I'm going to ask them if they'll fill a 5-gallon keg of it. I'll pay for it. I'll pay for it all day.
Well, they definitely it will only be available at Historic. So
all 3 of them,
right? So you have to come up and actually have the beer there. Hopefully, they actually will have on some of the other people's as well. We actually talked to them a little bit about some of the other people so far that also was in this and what they're going to be doing. So some interesting some beers people picked. So
because there was more. How many other people got to brew a beer?
I think total there was 12, something like that.
Yeah.
It wasn't a ton. It was. I think even
that's awesome.
The Kickstarter, the limit they had didn't even get filled up.
Oh, really?
So I was really surprised when I saw that because I was like, again, for the price and for the limited number of space, it's amazing. It's Flagstaff, so but that's not that far.
Who gives a shit to go brew with Historic? My gosh, and to come up. I mean, the fact that they're just the recipe.
Right. I mean, if it was just if it was just
to brew one of their standard beers, okay, I suppose that may not be, but it's still very interesting. So still totally worth the price of admission.
Right.
But to be able to brew something special and custom like that, oh my gosh.
So, and they're even fronting the money for barrels for some of the other people that are brewing. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's nuts.
This is 1.5 pounds per barrel for dry hopping.
Amazing.
Of the blended hops.
Cannot wait.
Yeah, it should be pretty good.
Cannot wait.
And then we actually spent some time up in Flag. I mean, we got there, around noon. I was going to say,
I know there was another reason I was jealous of you guys. I believe you went to some breweries.
We did. I mean, it was like I said, we got there at noon. We had some time. I mean, it only took us maybe an hour with them, right? Hour and a half or so. Most of the time it was actually just BSing with them, talking some beer and going over some other stuff. But we spent a little bit of time talking about the recipe, but a lot of time just kind of getting comfortable and getting to know the brewers a little bit more, so that way it'd be a little more comfortable when we actually go up there and brew. So that was cool. And I think the plan was to go to Mother Road Day. Was that what we were doing?
Mother Road was the next on the list, but we didn't make it there.
We didn't. They were actually not open at the time we wanted to go.
Bummer.
So where did we go, Dave?
We ended up at Dark Sky Brewing.
Nice.
Which is another newer one up in Flag, and they're like a small batch brewery. They have a bunch of 3-barrel systems in the back.
Nice.
And they had, was it 17 or 19 of their own beers on tap and no guest taps.
Right.
Wow.
For that
Good
much,
for them.
For that small of a system, for that many beers is
that's
super impressive.
That's doing work.
So, what were some of the standout beers you had from there, Dave?
Man, they had was it the Galaxy double IPA?
Right. It was Super Moon.
Or Super Moon, and then there was another one. And man, I'm just blanking on them.
Mosaic.
Mountains of Mosaic.
Say
Mountains of Mosaic.
Wow. Sounds like my kind of spot.
Oh, it was delicious.
Sounds like the kind of place I need to be at.
It was cool because the setup, if you go to it, it was pretty much downtown Flagstaff, right? So off the main strip a little ways, not too bad. They basically had 2 different storefronts that they actually put into one. So you had one main entrance, but it was basically 2 stores, so they kind of combined it. Kind of like Papago, if you've been to Papago, where you basically come in one entrance and then you can kind of go around to the other room. Same kind of setup. So
right.
In the back they had the bar. 19 taps of their own stuff.
Wow, that's a lot of taps. That's a lot of brewing your own beer.
Right, especially not if it wasn't. There's no guest taps, right? So it's all their own beer.
It was all theirs.
So and they actually had 5 or 6 more behind the bar that they actually weren't even counting into the 19 that they were releasing the next day. So they're actually expanding even more. So at this point, they're 24,
That's
25
awesome.
at this point.
That's crazy.
Really good beers. They actually, and then we actually learned that one of the brewers there actually does a podcast as well.
Oh, wow.
Craft beers. But he does it about hiking and craft beer.
Nice.
So I've been listening to it. He actually, the last one he just released was he went to Oak Creek Canyon and did some hiking to basically capture some wild yeast for some brew.
Oh, wow.
That's cool. That's cool.
Right. So I mean, kind of, two loves put them together.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Super nice. So
yeah,
it was cool to meet some people up there. Definitely talking about the podcast, of our podcast. We actually met one of the brewers. He was actually at the bar hanging out when we were there. Super knowledgeable guy, super friendly. We actually messed with him for quite a while.
Yep.
Dave, I mean, there was things. Do you remember what we talked about at all, or what?
I mean, it actually. It turns out one of his favorite beers is from El Segundo.
Ooh,
one of yours.
Nice.
It was the nuclear power plant.
Oh, that is super good. That's a triple, I believe.
That is his favorite beer.
Yeah, that's a really good triple IPA.
We sat there and we bested for a while.
Yeah.
We talked about this beer and that beer and this style, and just kind of chatted for a while, which is common beer.
Yeah,
bar type things, right? Yeah, you're at a bar, chat with people.
What you're there to do.
And we end up actually getting some tasters out of it.
Nice. There you go.
So, I mean, what did we? I can't remember. I'm trying to think what we had.
It was we tried their bourbon barrel roasted and toasted, and that was amazing. I probably top 5 stouts I've ever had.
Nice.
Okay. It blew my mind. It was up there with Bourbon County.
Nice.
And as well as, I think it was closer to KBS.
Right. Okay. That's right. So he
that's
actually,
right. I remember you guys talked about that.
He actually poured it for us, and then he was like, "I want your guys' opinion on this because you sound like you guys know what you're talking about." So let's.
Then would you love to hear?
Yeah, we're like,
go on.
Yeah. No, stop, please. No. So it was really. So that's right. He brought the beer out and then had us basically. He asked us what the ABV.
How.
Then kind of our tasty notes.
What would you compare this to?
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, I think.
Nice.
I think as far as ABV wise, I was like real high. ABV, you were a little lower, right?
I was 7 to 8.
Right, and it came out to be 9. So I was like 14 or 15.
Wow, nice.
It had a really. I mean, it almost tastes like how like this is, but even a little more boozy. Like we could bourbon
sweeter.
For sure. A little bit.
Yeah.
The sweetness was pretty close.
Yeah.
So
more mapley.
Yeah.
Very mapley,
nice.
Which I like.
Yeah. It was just one of those like, oh, all right. And we tried it in, I was saying like Avery or Uncle Jacob kind of thing. And then, we kind of like after the fact was like, oh yeah, kind of Bourbon County, kind of KBS-esque, kind of flowing with that. Yeah. And then he also brought out another beer. What was?
It was the Fire in the Sky. It's a barrel-aged beer wine hybrid.
Wow.
Which I'll let you talk about this because you're
beer wine hybrid.
You're the wine guy, Dave.
Tell me about that.
You literally have I mean, that's the thing too. You literally had a class in college about wine tasting. Right?
Yeah, I took a wine and spirits class.
Nice.
Probably it was actually like a legit class. You had to pay attention. If the teacher even thought you were drunk, he'd kick you out.
Wow.
But so you have to like drink and then spit out.
No, you didn't have to spit. He suggested some people do that can't handle it, but we did get to taste wine and beer, wine and food paired every class. Tainted wines, whatnot, to figure out what's wrong with them, different varietals. And we did have a day of beer and a day or two of spirits, and we did go on tours, of course.
So what was your final exam in that, by the way?
The final exam was actually a report where a group of us got together. We had a multi-course meal, and we each, for each person's course, we had to pair something with it.
Okay,
that's awesome.
So
that's cool.
Sounds awful. That's
awful. What a terrible way to spend your time. That's awesome.
But sorry, I didn't mean to hijack here. So the sour that we had was more wine and fruit forward.
Oh, that's right.
I mean, was it the taste of like what?
You could totally taste the barrel it was in.
Okay.
But I'm not gonna lie, like the roasted and toasted, I don't really remember the other one very much.
Yeah. I mean, it was a little overpowering. It was. I mean, I think from what
palate killer.
I can't remember. It was definitely more fruit forward.
It was definitely fruit forward.
Wasn't super sour.
Didn't I say it was like a very like I pointed out it was very berry of some sort.
Right. Yeah. It was. You said it was very fruit and wine forward.
Yeah.
You could definitely taste that. So interesting. I mean, sour. I mean, it's not maybe there's not a class for that kind of beer. Actually, I recently we actually went up in Historic. We actually purchased containing tartness. Is what it's called, right?
Yep.
And actually, I cracked mine open the other night because my wife loves sours.
Yeah.
Definitely was not a sour beer. It was more on the funk side.
Yeah.
Definitely more of a saison, I would say, than a sour at all. I was not what I was expecting. I was expecting, said tartness in the name, so I was expecting that jaw hurting. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Not so much.
Nice.
I mean, it was kind of more in that realm. Say it was a sour by name only, maybe in the recipe style, but as far as taste goes, not necessarily in the puckering.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
I think my comment was, this is a sour I'd give somebody as training wheels into the sour world.
That's exactly what you said.
Right.
It was like, this is good first minute. Just wants to get in sours, but doesn't want.
And that's good.
That punch you in the jaw, tartness.
Yeah. Sounds interesting for sure.
And then from there, we actually hit Historic's actually barrel and bottling the downtown actually location.
Their tasting room location.
Okay. Really nice too. Was it more on the south side of town?
Yeah. Well, we were looking for food. They did used to serve food there with the attached Proper Provisions meat shop. Same one. But they didn't do that anymore. You could order your food and bring it in.
Nice.
But we had a pie hole porter I had a single speed.
Yeah,
porter.
single speed.
And
really
then
drink some more of the beer.
Historic's the shit. I mean, they make good beer. They've been strong beer for the last 3 or 4 years. We've been going. Historic Brewing's been there selling their awesome mugs, the clay mugs that they source locally there from the whatever artist we had seen.
Maywar Ceramics is the guy's name. So they actually, it's funny. So when we were there, they had a whole row of them. So part of the Kickstarter too was a mug club. So they actually do a mug club now.
Oh, nice.
Where you can purchase a mug and then you actually get a discount, kind of like how Papago did with their mug club. But there were these actually the same ones, but instead of like how, and actually I'm going to reach over and grab the one you have and show you.
Yeah.
It's conveniently right here. So this one doesn't have it at all. The other one that I have, I think it's the black one, actually has his HBC stamped into it.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
I've got one of those in the other room.
Right. And so the new ones towards the bottom actually have a little like square rectangle cut out that actually has the Historic logo on it.
Nice.
So that's their monk or their mug club. Yeah.
That's killer.
It was kind of cool to be like, hey, we have all those, but they're not those versions.
Yeah, no, that exactly. Another reason to buy another one.
Right, yeah. I was like, I need another one of these things. And every year we go to a strong beer fest and they're there. I'm always like...
Yeah, you're like, okay, I need to go ahead and get another one of those, please.
It's so tough. So tough.
Yeah.
So, man, the last weekend was busy though, right?
Yeah, the last couple weeks been busy. There's been beer releases at Wilderness 2 times in a row. We're going to go over some of that stuff.
So, yeah, let's get into it, man. Yeah.
You go ahead and what were we going after? And I'll actually go ahead and get something pouring here.
Excellent. So, yeah, actually, it was funny because the three of us, all three were there. They were releasing 3 different beers. Normally, it's just one beer they release on Saturday, right? Or 1 or 2. It's usually not a ton. They released 3 this time. It was a Lemon Lost Saison, right, that they released with Almanac.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it was with Almanac.
And then Mirror's Mirror.
Fantastic.
Which was... it's funny, that bottle, I wish it was bigger. I can understand why they didn't do it bigger, but it's actually was a sour golden ale with raspberries or blackberries.
Yes,
locally grown blackberries in the Verde Valley. Anybody?
It was the Mogollon Rim area.
Okay,
I think.
So yeah, a local farmer, just like wilderness style. They literally, went out into the community in Arizona. Grab some local produce, put it into their beer. It was, again, love us up. My wife loved it. It was really cool. It's funny. I can't imagine aging that beer for too long.
No,
because it's definitely not filtered, and there are definitely big chunks of blackberries in there.
Yes.
So it's you drink the beer and you also chew it a little bit, which is nice. But I imagine after aging that for way too long, those blackberries might be not the best tasting.
Yeah, it's definitely best fresh.
Yeah.
So, and I do wish the bottle was bigger, just like you.
Man, yeah, it wasn't. What was it, like 1 pint? Which I wanted like to be. I wanted to be the size of the Speedway Stout one. I wanted to be a little bigger, little heftier, which was great. But hey, it's a bottle release. And then the other one they did was the double. It's the 5th in the Dirty Hop Water series, which is called My Name is Mud. So I'll let you. It was what's the Cardinal? Dave, you're a big Cardinals fan, so I'll let you.
Well, actually, I don't think My Name is Mud was with him. That was the Double Tropical Storm
Dave is absolutely correct. It was the double tropical
with
storm
Jared
that they did.
Bill here.
And that was actually that was at the release they did 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
And that's actually worth covering real quick. But yeah, no, this is the My Name is Mud. And I don't know. I think this was just with them. This is just the next one, the Dirty Hop Water, and it's incredible.
Oh, yeah. So saying that, we are drinking another beer.
Yeah, like I said, we're drinking My Name is Mud right now. I went there last night and had a bunch of new Wilderness brews that are on tap, and had to pick up us a 32 ounce of this while I was at it.
Which is funny is you already have 3 cans of it. Well, probably 2.
Yeah, I have one now because I drank the other one, so I had to go back and get it while it was still there because it was freaking good. And unfortunately, the Double Tropical just blew tap, so they don't have that anymore. But it was awesome.
That was a good one.
So you went to the Double Tropical release.
I went to the Double Tropical release, yeah.
So compare, I mean, I haven't actually, this is the first time I actually went to a Wilderness can release. I wanted to go to a few of them. I just never got down there.
Yeah.
I know you both have been to.
That's right.
I mean, can you...
Yeah, I'd love to compare them almost.
Yeah,
I mean, honestly, because they did it so much better this time around when we were all there together for the My Name is Mud release and the Muir's Mirror. By the way, you guys talked about that while I was pouring this beer. That beer changed my life. That beer was amazing. And I loved that it was full of blackberry sediment on the bottom. It was incredible. But anyway, I apologize. Back to 2 weeks. It was actually the day of Strong Beer Fest was. And I had to go do a beer release because that was the only way I could actually feel like I was part of the beer. I was part of the Strong Beer Day. You guys were all going to Strong Beer Fest, so I actually went and stood in that line by myself. And they did they released the American Presidential Stout, the Battle Axe, and the Double Tropical cans. And the way they did it, the Wilderness is probably coming to grips with the fact that they have people who line around the building for their cans, certain ones. I get it. I mean, I was happy to stand in that line for a couple hours, close to it, an hour and a half, with you guys. That particular day, I showed up 15 minutes after it even started selling because I just had a feeling it'd still be there, and I got everything I wanted. But they had everybody getting there for breakfast at 9 a.m. in the same line as everybody there to drink. And that just did not work very well. It moved super slowly. It moved really slow. This time around, they weeded everybody out. Anybody who came for breakfast at 9 a.m. could go to the server at 9 a.m. and get in, and anybody there for bottle shop was able to line right up at 7 and get right into the bottle shop.
So I don't know if I heard it and I remember saying that. But if you went in, so if you got there at 9 and went in, you could taste it. You could get a taster of it, right? You couldn't get a growler. You couldn't get cans.
They were explaining that. They were basically saying people who showed up at 9 would get an advantage to getting in, but I'm not sure that they were allowed to buy anything. I'm pretty sure. I wouldn't be surprised if they were, because that's the way they typically have done it in the past. But it was weird. You're thinking to yourself, well, I'll just show up at 9 and get breakfast,
right,
and get everything I need. It was odd, but
it was
still a much better way to deal with those people who, I can't show up with my baby at 7 o'clock to get breakfast if we want to get breakfast, but we can show up at 9, wait in line for 30 minutes,
right, and that's totally fine.
That's fair.
It's fair if you can go and taste it or drink it, but you can't get a growler fill over or get a can of it. I mean,
it's
that's
odd. Hopefully, they weren't just selling cans to anybody who sat down for breakfast like they were when 2 weeks ago when I was there for the Double Tropical.
Right. So maybe that's what the difference was this week. Is they stopped doing that and
possibly
they went into more of they're separate. They're two separate things. So
well, and the other problem was at the Battle Axe release, and we're gonna taste that tonight. We aren't actually going to taste that tonight.
Oh, we're going to save that one?
We're going to save that one.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, one of the Hoppy Craftsmen seriously didn't enjoy that beer. We want him to beat that one. But they were letting people buy that beer by the case. You know what? Might as well set no limit.
Right.
Because you got people buying them by the case. People in line have to watch people walk by with a set of 9 or 12 of those. It's not very fair.
I mean, that's pretty crazy. I
think about the money they were spending on that beer.
Right. I mean, that's the thing is that
they were 21 a bottle or 18. I want to say they were 21.
It's one of those things where I guess with the money, good for you, but at the same time, it's one of those things where maybe they're worried that they were going to sell out, and they haven't in the past for some stuff, right? So maybe they upped the limits to help people with that. But I mean, we went to if you go back to the 24K release, it wasn't fucking a case of fucking beer. It was 3 4-packs was the max, and that was
3 4-packs.
I mean that alone with me was like that's a lot of fucking beer.
Yeah, that was more than a fair enough amount of beer to last me for quite a bit.
Right, I thought maybe a 4-pack or maybe a 6-pack if they're doing it at the time they're doing 4s. 2 4-packs would be like the max. So, but 3 is like, that's actually pretty generous. That actually seems pretty fair and pretty even. But yeah.
And I'm sure most of the people that were in that line for that Noble release got the beer they wanted.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure most of those people went home happy. I'm sure a couple people who showed up real late didn't.
Yeah.
They had it till 1.
Did they have it till 1?
I knew a guy that showed up in 1 and got one of the last few 4-packs.
Wow. And that just goes to show there was people showing up when the line was just getting going saying, screw that, I'm not standing in that line.
Right.
But hey, you think about Monkish is just down the street for them. They know how some of those can releases go. That stuff goes.
But they went through pallets of the 24 can.
They had plenty of it.
They did.
Yeah, they had plenty of it. So, no, Wilderness is doing the best they can, right? I get it. They want to sell that beer, but you know what? The wanting to sell it out is just stupid because, you know what? Keep it on the shelves for a few. Keep it on the shelves for a week. They've got the Lemon Law still,
Right.
They've got a nice set of packaged beer to go. I don't see there's any reason not to keep a Battle Axe there. Say it again.
There's a learning curve with selling beer, and you can never really predict what
and you can tell they're
sell.
You can tell they're already trying to hit the moving target.
Yeah.
But Dave makes a great point. Maybe it's just them trying to feel their way to where that sweet spot is to be available to everybody, but at the same time try to sell as much as possible in that one time frame. Because we talked about in the past, but it's the exclusivity versus how available the beer is. Because if it's very exclusive, there's gonna be more people showing up and trying to buy the beer. But if it's not, we were standing in line and
we're talking about how few bottles we're gonna be. We're just gonna get this and this, and then we're gonna get this and this, and then as you get to the front and you get excited and you see people walking out with all these ones, you're like, shit, I should just go ahead and buy my max of that one. I should get a couple extra of that one and at least one of those. And you by the time you know it, you spent $130. You spent way more beer than you thought you were going to. That's exactly what happened at this last release.
Well, I think it's that
the limited. You wanted.
It's the people coming out that you see. You're like, God, I got a fucking case of beer. I better get mine before I can't get mine. But it's also the people in the back behind you.
It's totally the people in the back. It's weird. It is. It's weird. You're like when we were standing at Wilderness, when we were standing there talking, you could see through the back of the store because they have got the double doors on both sides, and you could see that the line was all the way on the other side of this building. So I had to come up all the way around the corner, around another corner, and then all the way through the patio area. And you're like, holy shit! There's a lot of people waiting for this beer still. I think I should buy some extra of this. For some reason, you're like, I need more of this now. I need this, not them. I need this.
I only planned on buying a can of this beer that we're drinking right now. And I ended up with getting 3 of them. That's just, you couldn't do it. It's funny, back to this beer, just in general here.
Yeah, real quick,
to
go back.
Look at it is.
I've shined a line through it. We've got our flashlight man here. You're going to shine a light through it. And it looks like the surface of the sun. Because when he shines that light through, what is it, like 3,000 lumens?
500.
500 lumens.
3,000.
Honestly, we'll throw that. We'll make sure that picture's up on the blog. But honestly, it looks like straight orange juice. It looks like mud. It's great. It's a great single IPA. It's 6.7%. I wish I knew the hop bill on it, but it is freaking good. I drank gallons of it so far, it feels like, because I've made sure to get to Wilderness like 3 times since the release just to get as much of it as I could. That and another double tropical. Super good.
This looks like monsoon runoff.
Exactly, yeah. It does. It's so thick. It's crazy thick. And back to that release. So at the end of it, I picked up 4 bottles of the Mirror because I just knew that beer was going to be special, and I was super right. Yep. And then I picked up 1 Lemon Law because I drink on a podcast that drinks beer. I thought it was important to have at least one.
Weird. Well, it's funny. The Lemon Law, and we had one. Ashley at Dark Sky had a kind of a lemony, and I was so.
Well, we tasted it again that morning, and it was good.
I
was happy to.
So it's funny. So that whole thing. So I was really hesitant about buying the Lemon Law too. Like it was one of those. I had a Dark Sky. It wasn't super lemony. It was more floral.
We have a responsibility to our listeners, though.
So we talked about it in line, and that was it was like, all right, I need to get one. And then I didn't think you bought one, so then I bought one, so that we both have 2 now. So we have another one, but. Then we actually got to the bar and we actually had one of these beers we're drinking right now, and then we
did the
asked
taster
for a taster of it.
Yep.
Nate asked for a taster. I did not.
Yeah, he didn't want to know. He didn't want to know. Chris didn't want to know. It was too late. He was already $18 in. He didn't want to know if he just got himself an $18 paperweight.
Yeah, and
or if we had a battle axe round too, because you just like the battle axe as well.
Yeah,
really look forward to that podcast, folks. We're going to be going over in depth the battle axe release at the Strong Beer Fest.
What went wrong?
Yeah. What went? Brandon's such a happy boy. Ready for that beer. So that's just a little taste of what's to come in a couple weeks.
But yeah, he actually poured me a lemon law too, and it was actually pretty good.
Was it good?
Yeah, it was. It was not overpowering on the lemon, because that's what you worry about. They're going to hammer you with the lemon, but thankfully the sour, the notes they created with that sour was what gave it that nice lemongrass taste. Nice. It was good.
So maybe it was some of the Almanac kind of.
Yeah, Almanac.
Okay. Getting their hands in there maybe. I love Almanac, their beers.
Yeah. They make great beer.
I have not tried the lemon law yet.
Yeah, well, if things get crazy, but yeah, no, we have it. We'll have to break one out, and Chris has one too. So someone.
It was a lemon drop saison was the one we tried up at Dark Sky.
Right, which again, it was more floral than it was lemony. Which and don't get me wrong, if it was more on the lemon side, and it would have been okay, but again, maybe too much. It was just not. There was just no lemon really. It was a little bit more like citrus zest maybe to it, and then floral, just super floral to it. Yeah. Even the aroma of the beer was just it smelled like perfume.
Yeah. So, and we're gonna next podcast we'll also make sure to get one of the mirrors on there. Yeah. We'll do a tasting on the mirror of the next podcast, because that beer is special. They did. I wish they would have brewed a big old barrel of it for the tasting room, so that you could have got a nice full glass, because the color is beautiful,
gorgeous.
It's so good.
It was like a ruby red grapefruit juice. Look, just little tiny 450 milliliter or 350 milliliter bottles, really small little bottles. Cute bottles.
They are. I want to brew and fill them up again.
So, kind of going back to what we drink before this beer, which is Speedway Stout, and something I actually. Beginning of the year, I predicted that was going to happen more, or I wanted to predict my hope / prediction.
Read into the future.
My Christopheles fucking my future looking shit. One of my hopes was that we would actually see more cans. Right?
Yeah. Well, so many brewers have realized you can create a killer mouthfeel with a canned beer.
Well, it's also just we talked about multiple times. There's reasons why a can's almost a better. Yeah, it's just in general, it's a better vessel for beer.
Glass still serves its purpose.
It does,
in my opinion.
It does. I mean, it's just the beer is fresher. It's light. It's you can take it more places. It's nicer that way. AleSmith actually is canning their beers.
Yeah, the Speedway Stout that we were drinking before is from that giant 750 milliliter bottle. Is going into 16-ounce cans, I believe.
16-ounce. Yep.
Take it away. When's that happening? When are we getting those?
Dave, you brought the beer, so when
are we getting those, Dave?
What are we getting to, Dave? What's the
I'm looking.
This is actually the second canned beer that AleSmith's done. They did the AleSmith IPA cans. Dang. Now, see, I hadn't seen any of those AleSmith IPA cans. Apparently, they did those in 2016.
Mid-February is actually when they're aiming for.
Nice. That'd be like a week ago to now. So we are in mid-February
and mid-March if you're in Denmark.
Ooh,
oddly enough,
I will not be in Denmark in mid-February.
Arizona is in that distributed 21 states that they're going to be doing it too.
Dang, I didn't know they did the paint. I didn't know they did the American IPA. The AleSmith IPA, which is already super good. I like the looks of those AleSmith Speedway Stout cans as well.
They're pretty cool.
Yeah, those are pretty neat.
Makes you want to race, doesn't it, Nate?
Yeah, I like the checkered flags. Just want to run for them.
So, I mean, AleSmith is doing it. Epic's going to be making something from their can. Dogfish is what they're doing from the cans.
Are they really?
Yep.
Well, I didn't know that.
So, I mean, it's at this point, there's
canning's where it's at.
Right. I mean, more people are getting into cans. And I will say this, like I said before, you can do way better art on a can than you can on a bottle.
Oh, totally.
I mean, unless you do a bottle with a sticker or some
screen
kind
print
it. Right. Well, even screen printing, you're still kind of limited. But with a can, you can do full color, you can do gradients, you can do just really fucking cool graphics on a can that will be harder to do on a bottle unless you use a sticker or some other kind of form.
We couldn't agree more. I mean, we follow that guy on Instagram who's done all the Noble releases for the last couple of years. The Nelson she wrote. He did the 24K juice. He did the Canniversary. I forget that guy's Instagram name, but the cans he designs are amazing, and I believe he's done it for multiple breweries. But yeah, Cans are awesome, and I actually I've kept way too many bottles of cans because I just need to like remember one of them. Yeah, they're killer.
Yeah, the artwork is up there with like, CD covers and
sometimes you want to keep that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to see what Chris is going to talk about in a second because he is just like staring intently at his phone. What information are you about to pull up?
No, I'm actually Instagramming the picture of Dave just with his flashlight there.
Ooh, okay, good. All right, that was a good photo. That was a good photo.
You have to post it. So
yeah, you have to podcast. Excuse me, you have to you have to podcast, and you also have to Instagram photos from the podcast.
It's funny. They actually in this article from the Full Point that talks about AleSmith canning their stuff. They actually have a picture of the Beer Brothers brewing together with El Segundo and Grains of Wrath Brewing, level 1. I actually saw somebody on Instagram today post this beer. At the very top of it, it actually was Mario and Luigi kind of like bumping the top of it, kind of like
awesome.
Mario style.
That's cool.
That's sick.
It was like, man, this reminds me of 8-Bit so much. Like, this is something that 8-Bit those guys would do. I mean, it even says like level 1, and it says Ready Player 1 and Ready Player 2 at the top.
Shit, that's something else 8-Bits has done. I mean, they've been there. I mean, that's their thing.
Right. I mean,
that's killer.
Definitely need to get out to 8-Bit. We talk about it a bunch.
I know, we always talk about it. It's not our fault that they're in Avondale.
Yeah, well, we'll get out there.
So
it's
worth
their
it.
fault.
We'll plan it. We'll plan one of these things here.
Some other good breweries out that way, too.
Yeah, there are several breweries on the way out there. There's plenty of options for sure.
You know who else is canning their beers?
Who's that?
Alpine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that they were going to do that, and let's see here. I was just looking at that Alpine Beer Company. Yeah, what are they doing here?
So far, they have, well, according to this, 2 of their cans.
The Truck Trail and Willie.
Right.
Nice. Now, Alpine's not canning this beer, and Alpine's not making this beer. Alpine is sending the recipes and all that good stuff over to Green Flash, who's making and producing this stuff. Correct, anybody can correct me if I'm wrong, but that's who's already been releasing all of Alpine's bottle releases for the last 2 years is Green Flash. They've been working with them. I remember going to Alpine Brewery and being like, no, even the guy behind the bar being like, no, this is the real stuff.
Yeah, right. So, Alpine's probably
tiny.
They're doing their.
It is. It's extremely tiny. Alpine's the shit.
They're tasting in their own place. They're making some of those beers.
Yeah, they're not making that beer with us.
There's stuff in their mainstays probably off to freaking Green Flash to make.
But anyway, and even the pure hoppiness from. I've had pure hoppiness in the fridge right here, and I've had pure hoppiness in Alpine. It's 2 different beers. They're not the same beer. They taste completely different. So it's interesting to see. Thankfully, Green Flash is working with an awesome brewery like Alpine to produce their beer and distribute it, even if it's just almost a representation of what the real beer tastes like. It's still awesome that they're doing it. So it's cool they're doing cans now too. They Alpine everybody needs to drink Alpine beer. It's incredible. It's delicious.
It's the deliciosity in the can.
Chris is hashtagging away over there.
Oh yeah, he's got at least 15 or 20.
Hashtag during the podcast. Hashtag Hoppy Craftsmen.
This used to be a £. Hashtag.
Yeah. Didn't they used to call this a £?
Just date myself a little bit.
Yeah,
I still do.
Well, and while Chris is doing that, I want to talk about an article I talked about on last week's show. Was Walmart doing craft beer? And we talked about how they were doing this. Who they were working with? What brewery? Hang on a second. Trouble Brewing. Written by Trouble. They were working with Trouble Brewing.
What do you call it? What do they call it? A shell corporation kind of name?
It is, okay. And
right?
we actually talked about it on the show. I was telling him, I said at the time, and it was, I'm sure that Walmart doesn't hide the fact that this is actually a WX Brands. Excuse me. They're the guys who actually are doing this beer under the Trouble Brewing I don't know.
Pseudonym.
Yeah, pseudonym or whatever. And it's, they are WX Brands, which makes brands from a location in Costa Rica, where a company named Genesee Brewing makes beer identified as cheap college party staples. So yeah, those are the guys who are brewing up all this Trouble Brewing Walmart craft beer and sending it over to WX Brands and sending it over to Walmart. So it's I believe they said on this article from AV Club, and it's all dim because they're trying to give me an article, but give me an advertisement. but it doesn't meet any of the requirements for a craft beer, which is like something like 6 million barrels or something like that. Some crazy number. But yeah, so Walmart's full of shit, which everybody here is really surprised by that, right?
Yeah.
You wait. They're not using a legitimate craft beer brewery, and they didn't go in there and just inject millions of dollars into some craft brewery's line. Of course not.
Makes beer identified as, air quotes, cheap college party staples.
Yeah, I know. I know. It's freaking genius.
That's fucking awesome.
It's hilarious.
What are some of the beer names?
Oh, I forget. We covered them in the last episode.
There was something Drift.
Some Cat in the Hat fucking
cat.
IPA bullshit. It's not that, but it was some cat.
Like
the cat's meow or some stupid shit. But honestly, are we all surprised that Walmart used XW brands and then relabeled it? Of course they did.
Right. I mean,
regardless, it's another brewer. It's no better or worse. It's just, I suppose they shouldn't be allowed to call it craft beer. But come on. There's a lot of very large craft beer.
Notes one taster for Walmart's phony craft beer described it as good for flip cup.
That's hilarious. Isn't Shock Top considered a craft beer?
Yes. I mean,
that's horse shit. That's the biggest load of shit ever. Again, so if Shock Top gets to be craft beer, Walmart can call anything craft beer.
Well, it all comes down to,
Frank, in my uneducated, unprofessional opinion.
Well, it'd have to be, so if Shock Top was owned by some other corporation and the course bought them, and
they're owned by Budweiser,
and then they left that as its own standalone kind of like business. And then they produce X amount of barrels a year. And it'd still be considered craft beer.
I believe they are. I believe that Shock Top is InBev's, whatever. You know what? I could be wrong. Regardless,
I think Miller's Coors owns them. Miller's Coors at the point I think got absorbed, or talking about absorbing them.
Regardless, who knows? But Walmart, the fact that Walmart's doing this should be a surprise to nobody.
Right.
It almost shouldn't be news, but it is on the Hoppy Craftsmen podcast.
Well, that's the thing is, if they would have, and this is how you game the system, right? If they would have fucking just made Trouble Brewing a real brewery, LLC'd it and fucking shit, they would have been fine.
Yeah, right? Maybe. That's a tough thing to estimate.
It's gaming the system, right? They didn't play the game correctly, evidently, because
shocker. But honestly,
you said, nobody's fooled. People that drink craft beer aren't going to be fooled by this. It's going to be people that are not necessarily educated, and which would be people that would frequent Walmart for their craft beer or beer in general. Again, it comes into this Anheuser-Busch playbook of let's make these fucking companies. This was kind of before they decided to get on the bandwagon of let's buy craft beer and make it our own, and more into the situation of let's make these fake companies, call it craft beer, make the beer shitty. People try it and it sucks, and they'll never buy craft beer again, and they'll stick with fucking Budweiser or fucking Bud Light Lime, where the fuck they want to drink.
That's never going to work, but it's certainly a reasonable. Approach, I suppose.
Well, like I said, it wasn't working, and so it's kind of weird.
Right. It's weird. Not working. Good point.
It was weird to see that evidently Walmart didn't learn from fucking Anheuser-Busch's fucking, they moved on from that. They have not done that in a while. They definitely got onto the, if we can't beat them, let's join them. Fucking, let's kind of. I feel like this would be fucking super geeky and nerdy. What is it? Let's like the Borg from fucking
First Contact.
Assimilation.
No. Yeah, they're gonna assimilate fucking these
Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Yeah,
TNG.
It was First Contact. Anyway, yeah.
Oh yeah. If you go back there,
Star Trek.
They're going to assimilate these fucking craft breweries into the fucking giant machine that is fucking Anheuser-Busch, right? So we can't beat them. Let's fucking assimilate them.
Yeah. No, and yeah, it's not working. Excuse me. It could, using this as an opportunity. You have another article we're going to go over here. St. Archer co-founder departs Miller Coors. Obviously, some of these guys getting involved with some of these major breweries aren't into sticking around forever. Now, this guy may have left here for whatever reason, but who knows, Chris?
Well, that's the thing is that it's just this is another. It's like how not necessarily let's say Golden Roll, but how freaking Goose Island is, right? I mean, these people, it's the you could say it over and over again. As soon as somebody gets bought out, everybody from that brewery goes, don't worry, nothing's going to change.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
It's this fucking, you can just repeat at this point. Everybody says it. It's not true. I mean,
something's always going to change. It's why they bought your brewery. They want to do something with it. They don't want to just keep it as, okay, we've bought you. That's it. You're good. They want to do something with it.
Well, at a certain point, like I said, the return on investment's going to come up, right? They're going to come to a point where they go, you know what? You can do your own thing for so long, but if you're not fucking making us money, we're going to step in and we're going to corporatize the shit out of you.
Yeah.
And we're going to do our playbook and we're going to do things to make you profitable. And if you don't, we're going to liquidate you.
Yep.
Right. And Goose Island, and I think, I mean, this is just another case of, you know, a founder freaking from St. Archer that goes, you know what? I don't want to be in that fucking game. I evidently got to a point where, you know, he decided to fucking leave.
You know, and he sounded like he opened up another venture with his previous owner of St. Archer. Right. So they're getting back into business together. And they're doing another looks like a food and beverage company.
They're doing some coconut water. Which, I mean, that's cool. And I'm sure at this point he's got some non-compete fucking disclosure in his contract. They purchased the fucking company. So he can't get back into beer for a little bit, depending on how long that is. Maybe we'll fucking see him step back into the fucking the beer game. But yeah, for now, it says that he's going to be doing fucking organic coconut water that comes in 3 flavors. So.
Man's got a passion.
It comes in 3 flavors: IPA, red ale, and stout.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
organic fucking water.
Yeah,
you know, it's like we talked about multiple times. There's going to come a point where yes, it's great and you can expand, blah blah blah, whatever. They're going to come fucking big beer's going to come knocking at some point. They have to, right?
When you get big enough, I'm sure all these breweries hear about it at some point. So, yeah, no, I'm sure you're absolutely correct.
You know, but one of the side point is, as you grow your brewery, it does become a business. It sometimes goes beyond the passion. It's like, okay,
it gets bigger than you, right?
It gets bigger than what you could ever have imagined.
Yeah.
Let's cash out, sit for a little bit on, you know, till the clause runs out, and then go on to another project and maybe make the next amazing beer.
Yeah, and then maybe that's what this guy's doing.
Yeah.
So Nate, we have a new beer here.
We do have a new beer here. We're having a new tasting session going right now. This is the first time on the Hoppy Craftsmen podcast where we're actually just going to sit here and we're going to taste 3 different beers that a viewer sent us. A listener. We haven't started the viewing part of this show yet. We're still working on that. We're still working on getting ourselves some cameras, you know, some sexy people to run those cameras. So yeah, we went ahead and got 3 beers sent to us from our buddy Cameron. This is 3 different beers. I mean, these aren't all Colorado breweries. No, but they are all beers distributed in Colorado.
Right. That we can't.
Let's be specific. That we can't get here.
Right. We can't get here.
Right.
So super kudos. You know, and I'll say this.
Good dude sent us these. Gave us these. A guy we work with who went to Colorado and did himself a little beer run and got some good brews.
I will say Cameron is vying for Listener of the Year right now.
Wow.
It's really early, so we'll see.
If it's based on amount of beer sent in, he's winning.
Yeah, right.
He's winning.
Thank you, Cameron. Thank you.
All right, so this one's first from Melvin Brewing Company. It's called the Melvin IPA. You got right down to it. Living life to the emptiest.
It's very empty.
It's pretty empty.
I will say, you know, so
it's a Melvin IPA.
I want to talk about Melvin a couple of times. Melvin actually had a 2x4 day.
A 2x4. This is these guys?
Yep, same people.
No kidding.
Those Port Quattro?
Yeah, right. So the 2x4 day is actually, it's a special day. They release a beer out every year. This year they actually had Hacksaw Jim Duggan make a video for their beer release.
That's awesome.
I remember I watched that video. I didn't know that was these guys. That's awesome.
Yep, same guys.
It says on the back here, drink it, don't overthink it, testify. So yeah, let's taste this first one from our Colorado distribution tasting session.
It's a very pretty beer.
It's not cloudy. It's clean.
Yeah, it's very clean.
Super filtered.
It is very bubbly. Mine's still bubbling. We poured this a couple minutes ago, right?
Just hop smell. No malt on the smell of it.
It is a very fine bubble.
Definitely more of a hop backbone than hop forward, but still nice, good. Still nice and hoppy though, which is good. 7.5%. That's important. High alcohol.
There's a big sweetness to it.
It's sweet, yeah. That malt's got nice sweetness to it.
Maybe you think it's more, a little more balanced then? I mean, is it more of a balance? It's not like super. What does it actually?
I'm kind of a bitch when it comes to these. I like all hop forward. I like malts. I like the malt to sit right in the back. So for me, this is pretty malt forward. So for my taste,
does this have very high IBUs at all? Does it actually say what the IBUs in this beer?
I don't believe it actually has that kind of information for us on here, Christopher.
60s is what I would say.
Yeah, I'm gonna say. I imagine it's not super IBU. There's not a lot of IBUs in there. I think that might contribute to some more of the malt coming forward.
Smells super good though.
Right.
The can smell after the pour.
It's actually
all hop. I mean, it smells like it was. I mean, definitely a lot of dry hopping went on with this beer, big time.
It's a very unique IPA. There's super good. There is a flavor to it that's different than a lot of other IPAs I have. I almost want to say it's like a fruity candy flavor. I can't pinpoint it, but
it's like candied fruit kind of almost. Yeah. It's definitely not a West Coast IPA at all. It's not even in that realm.
That hop, the malt's just got a good flavor balance to it. I mean, it's definitely more of a. I mean, even there's very malty tasting hot IPAs, and there's very super hop forward. But this is definitely in the middle. It's a well balanced beer,
right?
But yeah, no, super good. That's a winner.
Yeah, I mean, I was pretty excited when because I actually gave him a list of beers that was like, hey, if you can find these beers,
really nice.
Find these out, and this is one of the beers that I put on there. So
really nice.
Not necessarily this beer, but this brewery,
right?
Yeah, I was like, anything from Melbourne,
good, right?
Right. So anything from Melbourne, pick it up.
Yep, get it.
Find it. Let's try it out. So super excited.
Hibiscus.
Okay,
hibiscus.
Yeah, maybe.
Question mark.
There's a huge floral note, but it's not like an in-your-face bitterness.
No, it is very floral.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yep.
Like I said, it smells great.
It does. It smells fantastic.
Yeah. And now we had a second beer from this tasting, and the second beer in the Colorado distribution beer tour. We got David going through this one for us.
This is a Crazy Mountain Brewing Company. It's their Amber Ale, coming in at 5.25 ABV.
Ooh, that's a little low.
And 25 IBU.
So real low.
That's even lower. But it's an amber ale.
Right,
I mean, that's what it's supposed to do.
Right, and that was my thought. Is that when I was he actually sent more beers than what we tasted tonight. We actually have a couple more that I'm saving for a later date. And
we got to drive a car at some point.
Well, then we haven't had a name. I know we're the Hoppy Craftsmen, but I feel like we should branch it a little bit. So we haven't had an amber on the show at all.
No, that's a good call.
So I figured it'd be nice to have something on it like this. Dave, can you describe what's in the bottle though?
Let's see. Let's go with this. Let me take a nice little taster here. This is just a classic amber ale, but I'm gonna say it's not malt forward like a lot of them. It's actually pretty well balanced.
Okay.
Surprisingly, maybe I just burned my tongue out with the last beer. But,
yeah, it's ripped here.
But seriously, like if somebody said, "Here you go," and I had no idea what it was, I could drink this, no problem. It's
got a nice head on it.
Yeah.
Even after sitting here, it's got a nice creamy head on it.
Yeah, the head's really crazy.
The creaminess, yeah.
The aroma's kind of a weird off.
Like copper.
Yeah, it's weird.
Copper metal.
Yeah, it's very metallic-y. So I don't know if I haven't tasted it yet. No, it's not bad. No. It's actually pretty good. I mean,
it's tasty.
It's it's pretty close to almost a red ale compared to an amber. It's a
little stringent like that.
It's not necessarily like an amber ale. Again, a little bit more malty.
Yeah.
It goes really good with like a burger or something like that. This, I don't know if I'd actually want to drink this with a burger. Color wise, it's definitely not. It's definitely a lot darker than the IPA we just drank from Melbourne.
It's a beautiful amber color.
It's amber, but it's not like a dark amber. It's very light and very filtered. But yeah, this head's
the yeast
ridiculous.
They used in this. I wish I knew more about the strands, but the yeast they used in this gave it a bite, just like like you ever had that prop of Budweiser in Europe, like that.
My thought. It's funny because I was just thinking it tastes lagery almost.
Yeah, like a lager. Yeah, absolutely.
So I wonder if they use some kind of lager yeast in this.
Yeah.
To make it. Again, not
super good though.
Not horrible.
Tasty.
This is. Again, not bad. It's just different. A different
skunky at the end.
A different amber than I'm used to. So
skunky at the end.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Top dimension.
Again, it's
not my cup of tea, but it is. It's still. I wouldn't pour it out.
No, I mean, I would drink if this is. I mean, if I was drinking or eating a big
nachos,
nachos or some pub food right now, this would be fucking. This would hit the spot.
Need to get some pub food.
You know the funny part. Earlier we talked about the Walmart and their fucking beers, the flip cup shit. I'd fucking drink this flip cup.
Flip cup. This would be a quality flip cup, bro.
Right. This is. I mean, most craft beers, I'm not gonna fucking pound back at some fucking party.
No.
This one, I could actually freaking do some damage on some flip cup or some peanut or some shit.
I'd shotgun this.
Right. This is some fucking college fucking card game shit I fucking play right here. So
yeah,
Henry Weinhardt's Private Reserve.
So this is if you're getting into beer, this is good. It's not you shouldn't if you're not drinking Miller Lite, you're drinking this. You're already gonna make it in. You're already gonna get heaven. Yeah. So you're doing good. Yeah, it definitely a training wheel. This is a train wheel beer. Oh, it all depends on what you like. I mean, I'm a crazy hophead. That's all I drink.
Yeah, well, and I love hops too. And I it's funny because we talked about this before. Like, so Dave, you talked about starting with stouts and moving more into IPAs. Nate, what did you start? What did you start with?
Gosh, literally, I mean, before I even knew what good beer was, I drank Miller Lite.
Right. Okay.
I mean, it happened.
Right.
But what got me started? West Coast IPA from Green Flash. Like that is my beer. We poured that down at my wedding. I mean, we drank a bunch of that at my wedding. Yeah. The West, honestly, those beers what really got me. The West Coast IPA from Green Flash, their palate wrecker. I mean, a lot of Green Flash was what really busted my cherry on hoppy good beers.
Right. So I mean, you went from shit macro beer into
learning to drink about stouts.
Right.
But it took me a while to find hoppy beers that I liked.
So I mean, that's the thing is that you went from not great beers, lagers and stuff, or that style of, big
what
beer.
I found to be not great beer.
Right, and then you went into IPAs.
Yes.
Right, and Dave went from
head first.
Stouts, sweeter beers, into more malty beers, into IPAs. And I'm with you. I started with IPAs as well, and I think that we are the minority in that situation. I think most people that come from a Bud, Coors, Miller kind of aspect go into more of a malty. I mean, Dave, would you agree with that? I mean, I think
they look for more complexity.
Well, they want that bread flavor. It's a comfort. It's a comfort.
Well,
flavor.
I love the bready. I mean, I love a good bready malt, but I mean, a lot of these ones that are just super malt and very sweet, it's hard for me to drink them, honestly.
Well, I would say on the Bud Miller Coors, since they don't have flavor, it's hard to dislike them.
Oh, I suppose. Yeah.
Well, I just mean in general. I mean, people tend to lean more towards something sweeter, right? Yeah. Not necessarily bitter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
That's what they're going into.
That's true. And I dove into bitter. I love bitter, and it make it the most. But find me more bitter. That's what I want.
But a lot of the gateway IPAs that you find at the stores, I found when I first started before Chris gave me a legitimate double IPA, was that they were too bitter, too harsh. And it was unpleasant.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So that makes sense. It's just, again, I think your story, Dave, is more par for the course, where Nate and I's kind of introduction into craft beer is a little more, not necessarily, in the mainstream. We went to hoppier beers first, and then we actually gravitated around to some other sweeter beers and porters and stouts.
Those long days hanging out at Papago, getting like 10, 15 pours, full pours of all these different beers over the course of like 6 hours. I mean, those are what really helped me find the path of super hoppy beers that I love now.
Bring back Elsie's.
Dude. So
I was like,
So here, and so
I won't
okay.
get off.
So
I'm gonna get ready to get off that.
I'll get off on that in a second. So Papago got bought out, right? And so when we were at Strong Beer Fest, when we went up to was it Huss? The Huss bottom, right?
It's Huss, yeah.
Huss. I went to the people at Huss, and I was like, "You guys are bringing back Elsie's and Josh and Papago?" And the guy behind there was like, "Let's be real here right now. I don't think so."
Oh man,
I was so fucking disheartened, dude. He's like,
that sucks.
He goes, "Did you guys have the Coconut Joe?"
Oh, did you tell him to go fuck himself?
I'm not a girl.
Yeah, I was like, do I look like an ASU fucking sorority fucking girl?
Fuck himself.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't want that.
My wife's favorite beer.
I'm like, I don't want that suntan lotion bullshit. Bring back Elsie's. And he's just like, cool, man.
Yeah.
He wanted nothing to do with me and my hostility towards him and his.
I don't want to hear this shit. Yeah. All right, man. All right, no problem.
Well,
cool.
It's funny.
Just trying to talk to you.
If it was later in the day, I kind of would have expected, like, maybe he got barraged by people like
pretty
saying
early
that shit.
in the day, though.
Yeah. It was super early into the VIP.
Yeah, right.
And I was like, hey, bring out Elsie's, dude.
That's months of pent-up aggression.
He was not happy with my...
That's funny.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
That is awesome.
So the third beer in our tasting, sorry to derail us there.
Yeah, third beer, Colorado distribution.
Again, yeah.
Imperial.
Colorado. Cameron, again, thank you fucking bringing this beer for us, dude. So this beer is called World Peace Death Ray. This is actually what I was talking about.
You see the look on my face right now?
Oh, man.
This is not my Robert De Niro impression.
Oh, well.
You know what I'm saying? This is bad. You talking to me? Because this is bad.
Oh, shit.
It smells bad.
So this is...
I haven't tasted it, but I don't like it already.
This is part of the Forgotten Genius series from Bristol Brewing Company.
I'd like to forget this beer.
Have you tried it yet?
No. No, but
the smell, huh?
Just by the smell alone, I've got hostility towards it.
It actually doesn't actually say the...
It smells like apples and shit.
Let's see.
It smells like apples, super malty, crazy malt on the smell.
The liquid on the bottom of your trash can after you pull the bag out that leaked.
Wow, so this does not smell great for everybody, huh?
David doesn't like this beer.
I'm going to try it.
It doesn't tell me anywhere on this bottle. I'm going to look up here in a second, but it doesn't say the ABV. It doesn't actually say the IBUs. It tells me the freshest date, which also doesn't tell me shit.
What was the freshness date?
It says...
this I'd love to know.
5 and then 4. So I'm not sure what the fuck that means.
May 4th.
May 4th.
If you drink it on Cinco de Mayo.
2009.
If you drink it on Cinco de Mayo,
yeah,
too late.
The thing is, though, it says May 4th. Yeah. What fucking year?
May the 4th be with you.
I mean, last year, maybe, I guess. So this is not super fresh.
And let's make this perfectly clear that I know I'm a beer snob. I know my opinion's not worth... it's not worth a velvet painting of a whale's vagina.
Here's the deal, though. When somebody says to me I'm a beer snob, I just want to make sure I understand that there's somebody out there who probably thinks this is a good beer.
Would you like me to?
They probably would like to hear it, and they wouldn't like me hearing me saying that just based on the smell alone. I probably wouldn't even walk into this brewery. They wouldn't like to hear that kind of a least opinion, but that's the kind of opinion those are the kind of opinions I have.
Well, we're drinking a teal fucking solo cup right now, so I figure we're already
the fucking cup's not the cup is the least of this beer's problem.
We're slumming it. But, yeah.
Well, this is the last taster of the night, folks. We ran out of glasses. It happens.
No, we have more beer in there.
Oh, that's true. Good point. We have one more beer. No, we don't. This is it.
Seriously?
This is it.
Well.
Yeah, this is it. We're just reading news after this. Yeah. Now, so anyway, so this was an Imperial IPA?
Yes.
And it was how many? What was the ABV?
No clue.
I literally haven't even had a sip of it yet. I'm still just ripping it based on the smell alone.
Try it. Try it. Let me see what you think.
Let me smell the bottle. Let me just smell the bottle real quick. Maybe that'll redeem it, because if it smells good.
It's actually very watery for what you expect.
It's so malty.
Just drink it, Nate.
Oh, I'm gonna drink it. I just want to keep tearing it a new asshole based off how it smells. I'm not a fan of malty beer. I know that's like, you remember that we were talking about that brewery, that Scotch ale brewery that just opened up?
Yes. I
am the opposite of the person who should be at that brewery. Those are all crazy malt forward beers.
No, that sounds about right.
I mean, they don't want me. I'm not their clientele.
All right, so according to...
And I'm an asshole, so let's taste this and you continue.
Yeah, that sounds about right. So according to Untapped, this beer is 8%. It's also 89 IBUs.
I taste the IBU.
3.94 on Untapped, so not super high.
No, that's too high.
Really?
Yeah, that's higher than the Refuge.
Really?
Yeah. I was just looking at that. Tastes like a... Yeah. It doesn't... It honestly... Yeah, well, I that's a whole other conversation, but I was looking at the top 100 beers in Arizona, and in the top 10 was Elsie's, but was also like Four Peaks, a couple other questionable choices, but who am I? Like I said, elitist beer snob opinion, but I took a sip. I want to update everybody. I took a sip. I don't like it.
Not a big fan, huh?
I don't like it. It honestly tastes better than I thought it would.
It actually grows. It grows on you a little bit.
It's okay. I mean, I don't know. It's okay. I'm not finishing it.
Compared to the Melvin, what do you? I mean, not Melvin.
Compared to the Melvin, I mean.
Yeah,
compared to the Melvin, I mean, the Melvin smells great. I mean, the Melvin, like I said, this brewer clearly likes to put a little more malt in his beers, and that's fine for him. I'm sure he has a whole bunch of people who love to drink his beer.
Well, so do you think that maybe
I could drink that Melvin?
Maybe it's just the age of the beer. Maybe at this point, it's the May of last year. Maybe it's just not as fresh as it should be.
I don't know if there was ever a beer that beer was good, except maybe on tap. I mean, I've had a ton of beers that are whole other that are completely different.
Well, I think on the bottle it actually says brewed for freshness, and so
brewed for freshness.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So maybe at this point, it just was sitting on the shelf too long. It wasn't as fresh as it should be.
What for?
So I don't know. Whatever. I mean, it's again, it's great to fucking taste beers from other states we can't get. It helps.
Yeah, it's always nice to rip on. Oh, here we go. Month and week bottled for freshness. So it was bottled in May, the 4th week of May.
Okay, so the last week of May.
So the hops are gone.
Right. I mean, this
is a year old at least. This is almost a year old. So yeah, I'm sure this was better a year ago.
Yeah. So
I'm sure this was better a year ago.
Yeah. So disregard everything because we had an old IPA.
Yeah. I mean, well, you know what? First of all, again, I want to thank Cameron for getting us this beer, but you got to try. You still want to try these beers. Like I said, I'm an asshole. Something tells me I would have liked this beer a year ago.
Again, it's you're not a malt forward guy. You're more of a hoppy.
It's true.
Forward guy. So it makes sense. This could have been a little better a year ago. Maybe not. We don't know at this point. This beer is... it's not a drain pour for sure. I mean, I would still drink this beer.
Yeah, maybe.
But I'm not going to drain pour it. I won't drain pour it. You might. I don't give a shit.
I'm a piece of shit. I'll drain pour a lot of things.
The Melvin for sure. I mean, the Melvin hands down is great.
The Melvin was the best beer we had out of the three. I totally think that. Yeah. It smelled almost a little dank. Just you know what I mean? Like it just getting there. It smelled good.
Dave, it smells even better now.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. I was gonna say after drinking the Imperial, this thing smells like the Double Tropical from Wilderness.
Which is funny, is right. So that's
like I said, I knew that thing was gonna be a palate killer.
Well, that's an Imperial, and then the first one, the Melvin, it's not right.
It's just a double, if not a single, if not just a power, not high powered single.
Yeah,
it looks like I believe it is just a single in there, and then what they're selling here. I don't see DIPA anywhere in here.
Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, but again, it's nice if I can try beers from some place we can't get.
Thanks again, Cameron. Much appreciated.
Yeah,
I want to talk about this Golden Road co-founder because Viceland. I'm a Sling TV holder, a subscription holder, and I watch Viceland all the time. I don't know if anybody else here watches Viceland.
Oh yeah, I've been watching.
They do Fuck That's Delicious with Action Bronson. Mm-hmm. They do a lot of good cooking shows.
Hate Thy Neighbor, which is we actually started watching recently.
Hate Thy Neighbor,
so good.
They do I forget whatever that Maddie Matheson show is. That's another really good cooking show. So Viceland's awesome, and I forget Spike, the white one, the white Spike Lee or Spike Jones. Spike Jones owns Viceland.
Jesus.
And he's doing a new show with the co-founder of Golden Road, and it actually sounds freaking awesome. It's called Beerland. It's a travel show meets homebrewing competition, and it will document Gil's adventures as she meets with hobby brewers and explorers in San Fran, New York, Colorado, Hawaii, Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Boom.
That was the 31-year-old co-founder of Golden Road. I forget. I'm looking for her full name here.
Yeah, it's
Meg Gill.
Meg Gill, yeah, right. So
Meg Gill. Viceland's a killer. Viceland's a killer network. So I mean, I can't wait to see what they do.
Right, and I love Viceland too. And I definitely it's the
great production on all their stuff, and that leads perfect into my next segment here. But yeah, I can't wait to see what they do. Beerland.
The only problem with this. I love Viceland, and I love that they're...
to say something bad about Viceland, dude?
No, I'm about to say something bad about Golden Road.
Okay.
So Golden Road actually is bought out by Anheuser-Busch.
That's right. Oh, excuse me. I apologize. That's a great point, Chris.
The only problem I have with all this is that, yes, again, we talk about...
Now, yes, the 31-year-old co-founder of Los Angeles' Gold Road Brewing, now a subsidiary of Anheuser-Busch InBev.
So that's the only really sticking point to this. I love Viceland.
What do you think she's not the real deal?
No, it's funny because actually there's at the bottom of this article is a video and you watch it and she talks about why it really goes into like why they sold out Anheuser-Busch. It basically came down to they had like a 5-year plan, and they were going to do some things, and then they actually got an offer they couldn't refuse, and then they sold out. And again, I can't hate anybody for fucking doing that, right? It's the American dream.
Oh, fuck it. We all want to make money.
Right. And that's what cannolis. Right. And hey, make the money and get out. It's when I want to drink beer from people that are fucking passionate about fucking making beer, right?
Yeah.
That's...
And it seems like Viceland's passionate about making shows about beer. Apparently last October, they partnered with Blue Point Brewing, also owned by AB InBev,
right.
To produce a 5% ABV Gosa style beer. Vice feels that beer has always been part of their brand.
Which is, again, and that's the only thing that I really... It's like this, they're making me swallow fucking this medicine with a spoonful of sugar kind of thing. Because I go and roll probably makes
you seem like you were hard to give medicine to when you were a kid.
They probably make great beer. I haven't had much of their beer. They probably make good craft beer, but again, they're not independent at this point, right? So
they're not independent beer. That's my new latest hashtag.
Right,
it's hashtag independent beer.
I will watch. I'll probably watch it. I'm going to watch it. It's not going to be a big deal.
I'll watch the shit out of it, at least to see how good it is.
Right. It's not. It doesn't hold the same, rank in my heart or whatever you want to call it as like a Dogfish was on fucking History Channel or Discovery, right? Like shows like that.
Well,
where,
yeah, I mean,
the guy
who did the InBev, the guy who did the Dogfish show, Sam, I forget his name was.
Kelly He's one of the founders.
He's the guy. Yeah, he's the guy who built Dogfish. So you want to hear anything that guy has to say.
Right. Well, and
he still owns it. I mean, he is still the guy. There's no InBev, there's no Miller Coors over at Dogfish.
Right. And so that's something I'm just wondering how much. I'll watch the show to see how much influence maybe that they have. She doesn't.
I bet it'll be great. Honestly, I mean, the way they're going for the travel show, home brewing. I mean, that sounds pretty cool. And the way Vice makes shows.
Right, David, you watch any of Vice at all, or
ever since they switched over from Spike, I really haven't watched all their shows.
Okay.
They're the one with the cooking competition.
Yeah,
I did watch a few of those. Those were great. And then the one you were telling me about sounded the other day.
Hate Thy Neighbor, yeah.
That sounds really cool.
Hate Thy Neighbor is a good show.
So just out of.
They do that edgy broadcasting,
right?
They do a lot of that stuff.
It is, basically gives you points of view from things that you might not deal with. But for the most part, no. I don't watch too much Vice. Maybe I'll have to now just to see what it's about.
It's not on every broadcaster. I mean, I think it's.
I have it. So
it's so big. Nice.
Yeah, I have Vice on my Apple TV. I'm sure they probably have on fucking Roku or whatever. They have an app for it. So it's again, I'll watch it to see how much influence maybe that they actually have into the brewer and her aspects. She seems like, again, from that video of them selling out, it seems like she's not in for the passion of the craft of beer. She's more in for making money, and that's cool. But man,
let's get Meg Gill on the show. I want to get Meg Gill on this show. Yes,
she probably knows more about craft beer and how to make it than we do. I bet she knows
a shit ton. But you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if you're right. Who knows? I mean, who knows what side of the business she comes from? I mean, she's a co-founder. She's not a brewer. She could very well just be an entrepreneur who's based on owning successful businesses. She wants to run a successful show. That's the thing, though. She may have a niche with knowing these home brewers and being able to show us a really cool side of brewing. And Viceland has a really cool way of showing us a cool way of everything, in my opinion. I watch a lot of Viceland shows, way too many.
It's right. It's just one of those. We'll see. I'll watch it and we'll see. We'll go from there. It should be entertaining.
I will certainly be skeptical. So. And from that and being skeptical. Right. I watched Barely Beer Barons. We talked about it on the podcast about a month and a half ago. We talked about it was a new Amazon series.
I think it was last episode, actually.
Was it really? Oh, well, yeah. I'm not very good on memory stuff, so that's plausible. So I had to watch it, right? Like, I just needed to figure it out. I figured I'd just watch like a couple episodes. Heads up, guys, the total runtime of this show is 56 minutes over the course of 7 episodes. Yeah, no, I'm going to run it through you. I took a fuck ton of notes on this shit. Are
they like 15-minute shows then?
Yeah, no, dude. The first episode's 21 minutes long. The first one is 21 minutes long, and then they're like 7 to 8 minutes after that. It's weird. It's super weird. And I'm going to tell you why. I don't know who is doing the show, But whoever the production was, it was very unprofessional in a certain few ways.
Okay.
I mean, they did a very bad job. I mean, they interviewed these guys, and the brewers were awesome. 2 main brewers, 1 apprentice. They were all cool dudes. The head brewer's big deal was Caveman Brewing.
Okay.
I mean, this is a large-scale home brewing operation.
All right.
That's all it is. It's honestly, it really all it is. And they're making craft. They're making great beers. I went online after I spent the hour watching the series, and I checked them out, and they got great reviews. You know, they're a great local brewery there in California, and I think they're in Northern. But yeah, it was so funny. It only took it just was super unprofessional at times. A lot of redundant shots. A lot of redundant
recycled shots.
Yeah, a lot of recycled shots. It had its moments, and really its moments were when they were doing the beer.
Right.
When they were making the beer. It was crazy. It was so funny. One of the owner was like, "You're not gonna make me cry." You know, and then like 2 minutes after that, he's crying, you know, talking about it. They did it in a very odd way. You know, they wanted to tell the story of, like I said, this is Brew Rebellion. That's the name of their brewery, Brew Rebellion.
So maybe they're trying to like make drama or make things happen that actually weren't there.
Oh, they definitely did. I mean, they let a pig go at one point, and they just went around running after it.
So they're trying to force a reality show.
They tried, but obviously they'll not do another season. I'd be shocked unless they did it as low budget as they did now. I mean, it was like Trailer Park Boys for anybody who's ever watched that. It was low budget.
I don't know. Trailer Park Boys is pretty awesome.
Well, it is. In the 11th season, it's high budget, but in the first few, it was pretty low. Right. But production aside, the first episode did all the profiles. It just jammed them right in. Very, and you could. It just wasn't very well put together, but it did show some pretty cool beers getting made. They had a Hellfire IPA, which was made with ghost peppers. And they sat there. And the other thing was really neat was they just do 30 and 50 gallon brews.
Yeah, so
all of them small brews. They just use big Blickman huge tanks. They don't brew in anything other than big stovetops. You'll wait till you check it out. It's pretty neat. It is literally a very large scale home brew operation. So and it's sketchy. You see duct tape holding up tubes.
So if you were a listener right now and you were on the fence of watching the show or not watching the show before...
Oh, take an hour and watch it.
Watch an hour.
Take an hour and watch it because you know what? These guys, they were obviously trying to put together a cool show.
Right.
I don't think they pulled it off. But you know what? It's got its moments. And it's interesting to see what a brewery's trying to do in a small operation. Clearly, this is hometown stuff.
Right.
When you watch it, it's clearly these guys are supported by the people that are around that brewery. They even got it going by 25. They call them the founders. The 25 people who donated $250.
Oh, wow.
Or something like that to get whatever they need. However many people to get to 25,000.
Right.
They call them the founders, and they each have their glasses.
I'm not good at math. I'm not great.
Yeah, I don't have 25 times 250. I think it's close to. I think it's either 200. I don't know. It could be wrong.
Don't do math.
Doesn't fucking matter.
This is a math
regardless, they have them the founders. And it's cool, but the show itself was kind of a letdown as far as its overall content. They didn't get it. This guy, he doesn't do technical brewing, so he can't discuss with you his technical aspects of his beer. He will tell you himself. He does caveman brewing, which is to say very winging it. So I'm sure they don't. I'm sure they've got their few recipes, but after that, they just kind of do their shit.
My guess is repeatability is out the window.
Right.
Honestly, at a certain point.
Well, consistency probably is not necessarily really high on their fucking board there. Again, so if you have an hour to spend, watch it.
If you have an hour to spend and you've got Amazon Prime, absolutely. Yeah. Because you know what? You're going to see them make some cool beers. They're all kind of funny guys, but they're doing well. They're clearly doing something right. They've got 4.7 out of 5 stars on Google. So they are really funny, though. The very last episode, I apologize for cutting you off. The very last episode, it shows the owner. He's like talking about, he's like, we don't have Wi-Fi. Put your cell phone away when you come in the bar. He's saying it nicely because he's talking about how it's a family and friend establishment. They want to see you looking at people. And he's like, and at the end of it, he's like, oh yeah, Yelp. You want me to tell you what I think about Yelp? And then it just cuts to black screen and then it rolls the credits because that was that guy in a nutshell. Awesome. It was good stuff. Honestly, like I said, it was a lot of repetitive shots.
Okay.
But, it was a good hour to spend.
If you have an hour, watch it. If not, don't watch it.
If you don't have an hour, there's probably something that better you should be doing.
So out of 5, how many Libbies does it get?
How many Libbies does it get? Wow. I like that. Honestly, the thing is I hadn't even been drinking, and I was getting more into it as I went on, because at first I was just like, this is fucking shit. This is a terrible show. Why are they doing this? Why do they establish this like this? Because you can tell they had good footage, but they put it together in a shitty way.
Right.
And honestly, 3 out of 5. 3 out of 5. I mean, you should watch it. If you like beer and you got an hour, you should watch it, because they do some cool stuff and they show you how easy it is. I mean, this game, if you guys ever just like, is it easy to own, is it really easy to produce your own beer regularly?
Right.
Watch this show, because the answer is yes. And don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to say these guys aren't putting hard work into it, but their setup is not revolutionary. It is not something you're going to go, wow, that is like a clean room. You're going to say, wow. Ooh, they put together their own bottling line at one point in one of those 6-minute episodes. It was funky, and it really was just this guy attaching 4 bottlers to a wall, a little board he made, and handing them to a guy who took the caps out of the solution, capped them, and stickered them up and sent them on. And you're like, Jesus, this is some sketchy shit.
Yeah.
But still, it was good. They were good dudes.
So I
good
mean,
people.
Really what it comes down to is, you got an hour, watch it.
If you really got to nail this down, you got an hour, watch that shit, because any TV about beer is good TV.
Well, so if the show was a couple hours long and it was a horrible show, not necessarily watch it.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Maybe
if it was a 7-part, 60 minutes, I was watching the first 20 minutes and I was like, where is this show going to go? And then I realized, they're going to make 6-minute episodes. Okay, that's fine.
So maybe the redeeming quality was that it was short.
Maybe. Honestly, maybe.
It's designed for millennials.
Yeah. It's like hummingbirds. Check it out. Honestly, you guys should check it out when you get 56 minutes.
Where's this brewery located again?
It was in a place I can't pronounce, Northern California, I believe. But it's called Brew Rebellion. It's a pretty sweet name.
It's called
Let's Go.
San Francisco.
Yep. It's I believe it is north up there.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, Nate, before we wrap this up, the Pliny clone that we actually brewed, what is the status in this right now?
Ooh, the status is dry hops about to go in and bottling in like 10 days.
So when do we hope to try some of this beer on the show?
Mid-March.
Mid-March.
Yep, mid-March.
So few more episodes, 1 or 2 more episodes, and then we'll actually be trying this beer. So
I'll be a guest on that episode.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Bring it back. So
I have some reservations about this beer's, how it's going to taste, but we'll see how it goes. We had a few issues in the brewing process as far as one hop shot left out, and a few other things maybe making it near the brew that shouldn't have been near at a crucial stage in the wort's temperature. But we'll see. It'll be a fun little experiment. It was a kit that'd been laying around for too long, and we wanted to make it, so we'll see what happens. Right.
So that's the thing with home brewing.
It's about fun.
I think.
It was a fun day already, regardless brewing it. So whatever came out of it's already a bonus.
Right, and then I want to do more of those for sure. I think
we're definitely going to do
more of these throughout the year.
I want to do an extract kit, and at some point this year, I want to get a full grain, all grain system going. Right. Honestly,
well, I mean that's
I'm ready to make that switch in my mind from extract to all grain.
So the fun thing about going to Historic is actually you're going to have access to a brewer that actually does it on a regular basis, so we actually can pick their brain and talk to them about it. And we're going to actually, and for everybody that doesn't know, we actually plan on doing a podcast, during or after we actually do that.
At Historic is
at Historic plan, right? With the brewer, So we'll actually talk to her and actually get kind of.
We're going to have to get our shit straight. Make sure we get lots of questions. Be very professional.
Write those down, Dave.
Yeah, I will be very professional. No, it's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait. Yeah, you guys don't need to be. You already are. Especially you, Chris.
Golden. Stay golden.
Yeah.
So, you guys ready to wrap up then?
Yeah, sounds good. David, thanks for coming on, buddy.
No problem at all.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
It's fun being here.
Yeah, so, thanks for listening, guys. Nate, where can people find us if they want to actually follow us on social media?
At Hoppy Craftsmen, the blog. I believe you have
which is Hoppy Craftsmen HoppyCraftsmenPodcast.com.
Yep. Get us on. You can get us on Google Play. You can get us on iTunes. There's many options.
Stitcher. Any of your favorite RSS feeds, we can get you on there as well.
So enjoy it. Get on Instagram and like the photos.
So as always, I am Chris.
I'm Nate.
And I'm Dave.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Thanks, guys.